What's up, everybody? Got another build video here for you. This time it is a 3-piece FireCrest, 2-piece tacticians with a reckless chest is how I set it up. I'm really happy with this build. It turned out really solid in the dark zone. I wouldn't really recommend this for PvE, but for PvP, real nice. I've got 276k DPS, 400k toughness, and 43k skill power. My health is at 102,000, and I think I'm a little bit short on armor. Yeah, I'm missing about 50 armor, 44 armor or something like that. But pretty bad, or pretty good. It's not that bad losing that much armor. I could make up for the armor and lose some of my skill power, but this build is super solid. Let me just go through my gear here and then show you why I use the gear. Actually, I'm going to show you my talents first, my abilities. Again, I went with Smart Cover and Pulse. Now, some people might not want to use that, but this build focuses, again, on maxing out your Smart Cover and your Pulse. You can run both at the same time, which I do, and have your teammates heal you and use your med kits and whatnot wisely, and just depend on them if you need a super strong heal. But my pulse is pretty much maxed out. 40% crit chance is the cap, and 100% crit damage is the cap for pulse crit damage, so I'm really close, 99.4 there. And my smart cover is also super close. 75% is the cap, and I've been able to reach 74.1 with this build, and 48.8 damage buff. The cap on damage is 50%. So this ended up really super solid. This is the best I've been able to get these two together with any of my builds that focus on these skills. So there is specific gear that you're going to need to get in order to reach those numbers with the skill power that I have. And to start out, I use a reckless chest. If you don't use smart cover and pulse and say you want to swap one of them out for a heal, I honestly recommend not using reckless chest and going with a booster shot with vigorous chest. So that's your other option, I'd say, with this chest piece. But mine's got health on kill, armor, and smart cover damage resilience. For this build in particular, smart cover damage resilience is the important skill to get on your chest, as well as armor. The other skills I think are kind of a bonus, but smart cover damage resilience and good armor on it is what you want to look for. This happens to be my firearms piece. I have 2 firearms pieces of gear in this build, and that's to unlock the talents on my gun, which I'll go over after my gear. Oh, what did we have socketed in this? We have stamina skill power mods. Now, for mask, we went with the FireCrest mask. It's got some good stamina, good armor. You want high skill power on this, and mine happened to give me pulse critical hit chance. This isn't necessary. By the time you have as much skill power as you're probably going to have, pulse critical hit chance is not the most important, but it could help, especially if you have lower skill power or working on a build. Also, enemy armor damage is real nice as a minor attribute. I think it's one of the best minor attributes on any pieces of gear. You stack up a decent amount of that, you deal a lot of extra damage to NPCs. And it was also modded with a stamina skill power mod. Now, knee pads. This is my weakest piece of gear right now. I'm using some 240 knee pads, but they rolled really nice. They've got okay stamina, maxed out crit damage, and they have smart cover damage resilience. I think I have a pair of 268s, but they might not have the smart cover damage resilience, and are electronics. These ones here I rolled to stamina because they dropped this way. So that is my knee pads, also socketed with a stamina skill power mod here. And then backpack. This backpack is amazing. Special thanks to Bin Blazin for giving me this backpack. At first, when he dropped it and read it to me, I was like, oh, that sucks. That's too bad. And then I was like, actually, that's really good. Can I have that? And he gave it to me. It rolled electronics that wasn't super high and skill power that wasn't super high. It's missing almost 1,000 skill power from its max. But what rolled real nice on it is these skill attributes: pulse critical hit damage and smart cover damage resilience. As you can see, both my skills are near capped on both of these attributes, so getting these on your backpack is so important and very, very rare. I think there's 18 different skills that can roll on backpack, so to get both skills that you need is extremely rare to have happen. So I really lucked out getting this backpack, and I use it pretty much in all of my Tactician's 2-piece builds because of how well it rolled. And it is also socketed with Stamina Skill Power mods. So it appears that I have all Stamina Skill Power mods, and that's to make up for, oh, my Skill Power bugged. That is to make up for my everything's all bugged now. DPS is bugged. Things are all bugged. I guess looking at gear made things mess up. Because normally I have 270k DPS here. See if we can fix that. Okay, there we go. So, let's see. Next off is gloves. Gloves, I'm running FireCrest gloves, SMG damage, crit chance, and crit damage. Unfortunately, these gloves didn't have pulse critical hit damage on them. I did have another pair that did, but they were much lower on armor. And so I had the choice of either the, 1 or 2% pulse critical hit damage that I was missing, or the ability to drop my armor mod and use skill power mod instead. Because this put me about, when I wore my other gloves, it put me like 150 down on armor, which was an entire mod. Now I only have like 40 down, so I'm not too concerned about that. But these are my gloves, real nice pair of gloves. Keep in mind, on a glove you can also get pulse critical hit damage that can really help get you to that cap point. And that also is my other firearms piece. Now, last piece here is the holster. This holster is not too amazing, but it's got good armor and it has pulse critical hit damage on it. It's also got decent stamina and electronics. Really, really bad firearms, though, unfortunately. But pretty solid holster. I believe I re-rolled the electronics higher on this because I didn't need the firearms. And it already had the pulse and the armor on it. So that's what I used there. And the reason I went with higher firearms than some of my builds is because the FireCrest, I didn't even show you guys this. FireCrest set bonus, 3 pieces. I don't wear this for the 4-piece. I don't wear 4 pieces of it. 3 pieces is 100% reload speed. Also 3 incendiary bullets capacity. So you can actually hold 6 incendiary bullets with this build. And the 100% reload speed is insane. Certain guns it affects a lot better than others. The 4-piece bonus is kill a burning target grants incendiary bullets for 10 seconds. It's not the greatest. I mean, it could come in handy once in a while, but I don't think it's worth adding the 4th piece for that. Maybe in PvE, but in PvP, not that great. So the reason I went with an MP7 is I have an insane MP7. This is a 204 MP7 with crit chance on it, and it has responsive, brutal, and deadly. Responsive and brutal both take 2580 firearms. So as you can see, I had to get my firearms to 2580. I have 2586, so no more firearms beyond that point for my build. I strongly recommend only putting your firearms up to where you need to unlock your talents. It does not scale as well as the other talent or other main stats in the game. So this MP7 is just absolutely nuts. The problem with an MP7 though is if you use a rate of fire mag, which I highly recommend. This is modded with a mag size rate of fire, headshot damage crit chance scope, stability crit damage muzzle, and an accuracy hip fire accuracy underbarrel. I do use hip fire accuracy a lot, so it makes a big difference to have that on there for me. Now, the thing with the MP7 is with the rate of fire mag, it puts mine up to 1206 rounds per minute, and it takes me 1.9 seconds to empty the magazine. A little bit longer if headshots proc 1 is none, but to shoot 40 bullets is 1.9 seconds. Now, the reload speed on MP7 is 2.3 seconds. So it actually takes almost a half a second longer to reload the MP7 than it does to fire the MP7 and empty it. So if you're in a PvP fight with multiple people running around and whatnot, you're going to be spending a lot of time reloading your MP7, which is the biggest drawback of the MP7. Now, when you couple that with 100% reload speed, it skyrockets your sheet DPS. Some people call it fake DPS. And sure, I could say in 1 second, this set does not make you do any more DPS, but in overall, say 5 seconds or 10 seconds or 20 seconds, depending on how long the firefight lasts. I know I can't kill 4 players in 1 magazine, so as long as I'm firing more than 1 magazine, this added DPS from reload speed helps a lot. And I tested it out in the Dark Zone yesterday, and it really, really makes a big difference. It takes my reload speed on this gun to 1.15 seconds. So basically 1 second reload speed. It's insane. Let me just show you how fast this thing reloads. You can hardly even tell. It's like the equivalent of looking to your left and then coming back. So you get a lot of bullets on target really quickly. It's just insane. And the burst damage of this gun is crazy, especially with this new 10% or 20% damage increase that they gave us. This MP7 just shreds. Really accurate. It's got very good recoil. Love it. And as you can see, 276k DPS right now. I'm not hitting super hard, 60k to the head. But when I put my smart cover up, my DPS now is 394k. And I'm now hitting for 85. When I pop my pulse, oh, looks like 86, 132,000. And these are not 2 elites. Doesn't have any enemy armor damage or whatever. That's pretty damn good. And to players, I'm hitting for I think 13,000 to the head, which is crazy with this rate of fire. I believe my player damage was 13,000 to the head. So I'm really, really, really happy with this build. I really enjoyed the Deadeye set as well, but complete different playstyles. Deadeye, I highly recommend if you have a good M1A that you wanna use, and spam body shots. Really good time to kill with it. But if you like using a submachine gun, especially if you have a good MP7, this build is, I think, gonna be the best in the Dark Zone. Certain guns don't scale nearly as well with this set. Like a lot of my guns, I have higher DPS with my pistol, but with the MP7, because it takes so long to empty it, or so quick to empty it and so long to reload it, it scales the best with this gun that I've found by far. It's not that great for things like LMGs, which take forever to empty. And sure, they have a long reload speed, say like 4 or 5 seconds on the reload speed, but when it takes you 20 seconds to empty the magazine, or 15 seconds to empty that magazine, adding 2 seconds of reload speed is not that big. I mean, when you add this 100% reload speed to this gun, you're cutting down your time spent reloading by so much, and you can put so many more bullets on target. So, as far as talents go, oh, I can show my M1A. M1A is not as important with this build. I use my capable, deadly, accurate M1A on this. Capable and accurate's really awesome. Accurate makes it so that your reticle closes up really, really quickly and doesn't open very quickly, so you can continuously spam shots. And capable makes it close up pretty much permanently when you use a skill. So let's just use one, and then I'm going to full speed fire here. You can see the reticle hardly moves with steady hands, one of my talents. My recoil is really, really manageable, and it's just absolutely nuts. I didn't have a pulse out there, so I didn't crit a bunch, but these are the talents that I use. Where are we? I go with critical save. Using a med kit during low health increases your damage resistance by 40%. I go with tech support. This is mainly for PvE, killing a hostile when any skill is deployed to extend its duration by 10%. This is for extending my smart cover. In PvE, I use the healing smart cover, and it's only a 20-second time frame, so this helps a lot. You can have it last basically for the entire fight. I use steady hands, highly recommend this. The other nice thing about steady hands is you don't need to be in cover for this. So enter any cover to reduce recoil by 25%, and it lasts for 10 seconds. It's similar to smart cover, where you can just pop into it and pop out and get the benefit. One is none, of course, really important, especially with submachine guns and marksman rifles. It's just a really good talent. Helps conserve ammo, helps give you more burst damage. But let me just show you with steady hands. We can pop a smart cover, we can get into the smart cover and then get out, and my steady hands are still going. Pretty awesome for 10 seconds as well. So that's my build. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. There's different variations I've heard of people using with this build. I personally, once I started using smart cover and pulse and got used to not having a heal, I can't go back. I really can't. I feel that I don't like if you have someone else that you can depend on for having a maxed out smart cover or a maxed out pulse, at least one of them, that's great. Then you could maybe have a heal. But I still don't play with anybody regularly that has one or the other maxed out, unless they're wearing Tactician's build, and I don't trust Tactician's build. Sure, it's great in PvE, but as soon as you get in a firefight, you can't stack up tac very well in a PvP situation unless there's NPCs around. So I really don't trust tac builds for my skill power buffs. And in the Dark Zone, having a maxed out smart cover is, in my opinion, the single most important thing. And then having a maxed out pulse just adds so much damage. Having 40% crit chance and 100% crit damage to everyone in your team is just absolutely nuts. But smart cover is even more strong. So if I had to choose one to go with, I'd go with smart cover, and then I'd run a self heal with a vigorous chest. That'd be the variation I'd change up. I would still stay with 2 pieces of tac, but you could also go with any of your favorite 2-piece bonuses. I know some people love their final measures. Some people want to just not even use another set piece, and you go with Savage Gloves, and you could throw a 4th piece of FireCrest, or you could go Savage Gloves, Tenacious Mask for even more damage output, something like that. Now, let me just show you, signature skill here is 80% damage resistance, and the tac signature skill is 50% damage buff. Unfortunately, the crit doesn't go over 60, so a lot of times the crit chance doesn't even help. So 50% damage, 80% damage resistance. Now, if you look at my smart cover, I have, 48.8%. We'll just round that up and say it's a cool 50% damage. And I've got 74.1% damage resistance. So I'm really only missing out on 6% damage resistance and 1.2% damage buff as the equivalent of having both supers out. So this smart cover is absolutely insane how strong it is and how hard it is for people to kill you while you're in it. I've stood in my smart cover and had 3 enemies just dump on me where you turn around and just burst them all down. It's insane. And it can catch people off guard. But I think I covered everything. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't. Check out the other videos. I posted up videos on guns, on different builds and whatnot. I know I've been getting some critique on all my builds being focused on smart cover and pulse, and honestly, I don't think I could ever run anything else. It's pretty self-explanatory if you want to switch one of those skills to first aid. I don't think I need a build guide just to tell you to switch a skill to first aid, but choose whatever one you prefer or whatnot. Maybe one of your teammates has a maxed out smart cover or a maxed out pulse, but very rarely are you going to find someone who has both of them maxed out. So hope you guys enjoyed this, and I guarantee if you give it a try without running first aid, I did undergrounds for a long time, you get very used to not having a heal. When I first started playing it, it was difficult. I was always wondering where my heal was, and it's now been about 2 weeks that I haven't used one, maybe 3 weeks, and I just don't even think about it anymore. Occasionally when I'm really low or when it's bad, I just ask my teammates for a heal. Give me a heal, give me a heal, and hopefully I get one. If not, then med kits or you die. Or get in your smart cover and hopefully you live. But thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you all on my next video.